So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Walter of Verbal Herb. Walter is our residential financial expert. He has worked with a whole host of people, from everyday people to celebrities and everybody in between. The goal of him being here is to help us figure out how to be better with money, ultimately, to live a better life financially in every other aspect. And so, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. So I like to also say a big giant thank you and hello to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but you are actually the third co-host, because we read your questions, comments, and concerns, because we feel like your input as is just as important as ours, right? We learn from y'all learn from us, and everything is great. So today we are going to start off Wealth Wednesdays with an unfortunate story, talking about that of Stephen Twitch Boss, and I'll get into a little bit more about him in just a second. So who do we have on here? We have Gilvetta, Moni, Brother Reggie, Vaughn. How are you? And so, Walter, what say you before we get started? And Ollie, how are you?
No, it's a lot going on as usual. You know, the Fed came out, the Federal Reserve came out today. Jerome Powell dropped a hammer. A lot of things going on, a lot of layoffs. It's about to get real interesting. It's money move time as usual.
Absolutely. So we're going to just spend about 20 minutes or so talking about that of Twitch. That's what most people knew him as, and just the importance of mental wellness and checking on our loved ones. And so I'm going to go ahead and put his picture up. Tawana, how are you? So for those of you who may or may not be familiar with Twitch, Twitch got his start on, well, he came to most notoriety, I think I would say, on So You Think You Can Dance in 2008. He was ended up being second runner up. He came back, he auditioned once, didn't make it, then came back, and then he became second runner up. From that point, we would see him everywhere. He did a few movies, but also most recently, he was the DJ for the Ellen DeGeneres show from 2014 to that of 2020, when the show went off. He also ended up being a co-executive producer on the show. And then most recently, he became, so it's like a full circle moment, right? A judge on So You Think You Can Dance. And he was slated, I guess, to come back in the near future for, I don't even know what season they're on now, but it's been up and running since about 2008 or so. So, unfortunately, from his wife, it sounds like Twitch took his life. She said that he left without his car. She thought it was very odd. I guess this happened on Tuesday. That she went to the police station and told them, it was very odd that he would never just leave without his car. And then shortly after, it sounds like they got a call to an LA hotel, finding him deceased from a gunshot wound. So, of course, a lot of people are in shock, including myself. I personally am a fan of Twitch. I watch So You Think You Can Dance with my daughter and my niece, and they both called me on FaceTime, and they were very upset about, the news of Twitch. He was a pop locker, if you will. And so what was amazing about his story is he was a pop locker. And so on So You Think You Can Dance, you have to learn how to do all styles of dance. And so it was nice to see him evolve from just being a pop locker per se, breaking pop locking, to being able to do jazz, modern, and everything else you can think of. So I really like his story, because it's really about determination and perseverance, rather, because when he was off the show the first time, he could have said, you know what, I don't have what it takes. I'm going to go on and try to do other things. But he decided to give it a second shot, and it proved to be, well worth it for him. And so, unfortunately, the other side of that is, from what they're saying, as of now, he took his own life. And again, a lot of people are saying, he seems so happy. And if you followed him on social media, he would do routines with his wife, who he also met on So You Think He Can Dance. He left behind 3 children as well. And so he appeared to be very happy. And, that's what most people would say about him. And so to learn that he took his own life, it's very telling, because we never know what people are going through, what they are experiencing, because as they say, people often live quiet lives of desperation. And I think we should never be fooled by, oh, well, they seem so happy, how could they do this? A lot of times people put on a happy face in front of everybody else, and then when they're alone, then that sad face comes on. And so I just think, I don't know all that took place with Twitch, or why he did it, or none of that. I just know from what I read. um, but I think we as people need to be a little bit more in tuned with our loved ones and our friends, just by simply reaching out to people. Hey, are you good? How are you doing today? Can I help you with something? Do you need somebody to listen to? Because we just never know, right? And there's been a lot of cases of people saying stuff like, I was about to take myself out of here, and if somebody just reached out to me and it changed my mind, because for one, I felt like I was cared about, and somebody listened to me. So again, I just feel like we need to do a better job of reaching out to our people. And I saw this on my friend's page, Asada, and I saw it right before I came on here. I was like, I'm going to borrow that, and it says this year, I met heartbreak and welcomed grief into my home. I learned that life is cruel and uncalled for and nothing but chaos the majority of the time. I learned that the sun will rise um, and set, and the days will go by, whether you're there to see them or not. I learned that the future is an illusion and the past is a prison. And in learning to let go, I learned to hold on to what mattered. This year, I learned that people will betray you and justify it. I learned that not everyone is good and that some people are evil. This year taught me strength and everything in between. And in the most important lesson is, we think we have time, but time is fleeting. And so that really caught my eye, because we do think we have time, right? We think we have all the time in the world, and you can attach whatever you want in the slot of I have time to, but we don't. Time is fleeting. Just a second ago, I had it, but now I don't, right? And so, speaking of time, we need to always make sure that we value it. And within the concept of time, we also have to value the people that time allows us to spend with them, and make sure that the time that we spend with people is of quality time. And at the very least, we let them know that they are loved and that I am here for you. So, again, RIP to Twitch. I was a very big fan, as I am a dancer. I've danced for a very long time. And so it's really a shocking and sad thing. So, Walter, what say you? And then I'm going to jump into the comments section.
No, I didn't know who he was until this morning. I mean, I watched the Ellen show. I might watch two. I just used to watch her dance, and when she had some cool people on, I would watch it for a minute. But no, it seemed like he had a good thing going. He looked happy. There's a bunch of pictures of him and his family on there, which I like to see. I mean, but like again, you never know. A lot of happy people. So from the outside, a lot of people, they carry people that tend to be very happy, smiley all the time, they carry a lot of stuff inside. They just bottle it up. I know I was one of them. I've never been suicidal, but you go through shit, and people that are happy just carry it well, like Robin Williams. And I think his stuff is more organic, but you see a lot of happy people that pull the trigger, and they're good at keeping shit to themselves. That's all. So, um, yeah, it's we will never know. So we can speculate, but no one know why he took his life. It's just you have a happy family supposedly, but if he didn't leave a note, this is a 2-minute conversation. You know what I'm saying? He took his life. That's what he wanted. Just hopefully he had life insurance and shit, stuff going on. And if not, just GoFundMe. He was super popular. I mean, he worked on $1 billion show for years. Hopefully he was well taken care of. And that's the crazy part is it's actually one of the things behind Verbal Herb, my clothing line, is to get people to think about the bigger picture. Suicide is Monday is, I said this 2 weeks ago on your show. If I'm correct, Monday, Tuesday is like suicide day. Monday is the biggest day for heart attack, suicide. It's just after Sunday, the weekend, we have those happy moments and then stuff sets in. So we definitely need to do something about it and quick because it's picking up. And unfortunately, when we have suicides like this, you'll see a lot more in the news. It almost like it gives people who want to do it sort of companionship and they also follow, which is scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, and you make a good point about, I think, yeah, like I said, Monday and Tuesday is kind of, it seems like that's the day where people do it. But yeah, it's, and hello to everybody that came on here. And Brother Don, my moderator. And if you guys are on Facebook watching this, please click on the link if you want to join the conversation. I would love to read your comments. Yeah, like you said, and a lot of other people said here, I mean, it tends to be the people who we think are strong. We just feel like, they're okay. We don't need to check on them. That person is always, they're always good. They're laughing. They're the life of the party and they're good. But those type of people, they need an occasional, hey, how you doing? Is everything good? Sometimes that's all people need. They don't need a whole bunch of I got intervention, and they just need a simple word sometimes. And unfortunately, we live in a society where people are so self-indulged. It's all about me, 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 me. A lot of times people can't think about anybody else outside of them um, because they true indeed have a lot going on themselves, but it just takes a second or two to reach out to people and just do a wellness check. You good? That type of thing. So, again, very unfortunate to think about anybody just losing their life, let alone taking it. When I hear that someone is taking their life, I think of somebody who is tormented, and that was the way out for them. I admittedly have never, been to that point of wanting to do anything to myself, but I definitely understand the issue of mental wellness or the lack thereof sometimes because we all go through things that are a drain on us mentally, and we just don't know how to cope at the moment. And a lot of times we just feel stuck. So, um, you know, God bless anybody and help anybody who feels like that's what they need to do. And mhm.
One thing we've got to get good at again, and our society right now is really screwed up. I mean, it, you know, this, I was just, last night I was just reflecting on the world and how crazy it is, all the crazy stuff that's going on, and just the comment sections and everything. And I remember a time I used to be able to say, hey, here's my issue, I need help. And so, having a support system is huge. And one thing you always have to remember, one thing I used to always tell myself, because there was a point in time, I remember losing millions of dollars, and I was losing millions of dollars. I was going through a divorce. I had to move my kids out of private school. I remember just having this false bubble of security where you're happy and hanging out and celebrities and doing all these things, and then boom, it just all being, supposedly all being gone. And I had this brief moment, like, I mean, it was like a 30-second moment of like, fuck it, I could just end this and I could just start over. And I had that thought for a second, and I just had to like shake myself from it. Because I was like, okay, as bad as my problem is, let's say it was worst case scenario. One, there's people that are doing worse than I am, who I could probably reach out to and find out how they got out of it. Number one. Two, I don't care how bad your shit is, there's somebody who's going through it too that you can talk to. It's funny, like if I put a support group and said, you know what, I'm thinking about taking my life, here are all my issues. What can I do? It would probably go viral because people think that. So we just have to, when we have an issue, we just have to put it out there and say, hey, here's my issue. I'm having this. And you'd be surprised. Like when you go to a funeral and I don't care how weird or off or bad that person was, someone always has something good to say about them. And regardless of how bad you think your stuff is, people will be sad to see you go, and you'd be surprised how many people want to help you. So it's good to reach out, talk to people. Conversations like this is good. And then two, we'll talk about this later. I think it's good to have goals. Like if you don't have goals, it's easy to, because it's nothing to say, you know what? I'm feeling low. I'm going to take this bottle of aspirin. I'm going to be done. Especially with the world, we're becoming less godly, so to speak. You can go on Twitter, your Twitter feed, even if you don't follow nobody, and see how freaky it is and how the world is just coming to a close. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I don't have any more kids. So what if we could just back up and say, you know what? The world is good. And there's people that actually need us. You know what I'm saying? And I think we would do better. Because I know from experience, I'm a pretty happy person, right? Most people say, oh, you're always happy. I had a therapist call me bipolar because she goes, no one is this happy. Like I've never met anyone that's just this happy all the time. I was like, you know what? I have some real shit going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm married to a white woman. No, I'm just playing. At the time I was. No. No, we cool now. But it was, I went through my sister too. I carried a lot of shit. I got 6 kids, 4 grandkids, and all kinds of stuff around. But I always focus on the goal. What is it like? I have 4 grandkids. Regardless of how shitty my life can feel some days, I know I have 4 grandkids that if I took my life, that'll be like forever telling the story of their grandfather that they met once. They met when they were little, instead of saying, oh yeah, my grandfather, oh, that's him. He just dropped me off to school. You know what I'm saying? So I really think it's good to have a goal. And it doesn't have to be a material goals because those come and go. I have a lot of, not a lot, but a few of my rich friends that have committed suicide. One of my buddies was Peter Lopez. He was manager to, Pavarotti, Jennifer Lopez. Me and him spoke on the phone 2 weeks before he took his life. Me and him were on the phone with Michael Bublé negotiating a contract, and 2 weeks later he was dead. And he was married to Daisy Dukes, for God's sake. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, dude. I was like, dude, you married Daisy Dukes. Like, can you get Catherine on the phone? Can I talk to her? You know what I'm saying? And boom, he was gone. And none of us know why. But I bet you there was something. If he would have said, here's how I'm feeling. Like, he wasn't going to tell me. But like, if he'd have told somebody, yo, I'm feeling like this, or maybe my business isn't, I don't know. Somebody could have came to him and said, hey, you know what? It ain't that bad. We all have those feelings. And we need to be nicer to each other too. I mean, man, the one thing about social media that I think is driving people to the edge is just everyone has something to say. It's like, come on, man. Like, I put on a white shirt and like the comment section is like, you should have blue. Who are you? You don't know what to do. I don't know. So just whatever. It's just crazy. And I think it's like Dave Chappelle talked about his friend that committed suicide because of Twitter. It's like, damn. So I really think people, and maybe where we can take the lead, is have a goal. And I don't mean like a material goal, because material goals fade, right? I go shopping, and the minute I put the shit on once or twice, the feeling is gone. Ladies, you get a ring. How long before it's like, okay, I'm married? What's next? You know what I'm saying? You have to have a true goal, something that will keep you busy. And that's why I think people that do like, be it a charity or foundations or travel to help the needy, whatever it is, I think those people tend to do well because they have something to do.
I totally agree. And so I was just kind of looking at some statistics in regards to people taking their life. It says that in 2022, which is this year is about to end, about 800,000 people worldwide have and will eventually take their own life. So about 40, uh, um, one per every 40 seconds is what it's estimated to be. And so it's a lot of people, and in all fairness too, some people, it's, they have some organic, deep rooted issues going on. But I would imagine for a lot of people, they just feel hopeless for whatever reason, whether it's something personally or something outside of themselves. And so, and Walter, you said something that's really profound. I would, say is that a lot of times, especially with the inception of social media, like I said, everybody has something to say, especially when they should just be quiet. You know, you ain't always got to jump in somebody's comment section and, say something to somebody that's horrible. I'm going to give you my opinion, because the thing is, we only know what people show us on the other side of the screen, whether it's our phone or our computer, but we don't know who we are saying an unkind word to. We don't know what they're going through. We don't know what just happened, right, in their lives. And so a lot of times people just say and do things without thinking. I mean, I see, celebrities often will say they're not feeling well mentally because, they feel bullied and, just a whole host of things. And um, obviously they probably will feel a little bit more because they have a platform, a more public platform. But from people all the way down to elementary school. I mean, we've heard of little children, in elementary school doing that for whatever reason, whether they're bullied or whatever. So I just think as a society, we have to unplug and get more in tuned to people. I said this the other day on one of the shows. It's like a lot of people, the only person that they've probably had a interaction with is somebody online, somebody they've never met, opposed to somebody they know, like a friend or a family member. Probably spoke to somebody you maybe known for years online, but you've never met them. So how often do we really just reach out to somebody we know, a family member, a friend, and just, just get in tune with them, even if it's for a minute, right? So yeah, again, very unfortunate situation. Let me get into the comments, and then Walter wants to go ahead and switch to talking. And we can talk about this if you guys like. I'm gonna remember to put the crisis number up here. If anybody is feeling a certain type of way. Let's see here. And Mr. Mystical Black Realms, how are you doing this evening? And Go Fies, how are you? Let's see. Gavetta says, well, the Black community do not believe in seeking out counseling because we think it's taboo. We have to change our mindset and seek help when needed. Yes, I mean, unfortunately, that is a thing within our community. You be all right. Oh, you just tripping. Get out your feelings, right? We talked about this. I think it was on Sunday. So unfortunately, we do have a habit in our community of just dismissing stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Go pray about it. Whatever. And it's like, well, prayer is good. I'm going to do that too. But I honestly need another outlet. I need help, And the other thing is, don't you think God put people on the earth to help people who are in crisis, counselors and all kind of people just to talk to? So we should stop being so dismissive in our community when it comes to mental wellness or the lack thereof. And let's see here. And Honey Chick Forever too, how are you doing? And Earth Angel, what's going on with you? Says Grand Rising family, right? He only know what he was doing. Yeah, nobody knows, right? Of course, you got a lot of people out there with the speculations of this and that happened. It's like, I think that's pretty messed up. But I know why people do it. They get out there with all these wild speculations because it's for clicks, likes, and views, not caring about what his family is going through or people who were near and dear to him, right? So at some point in time, we have to start being sensitive to other people's feelings without trying to chase a check, if you will. Uh, let's see. And Gavetta says, Demetra, absolutely. People type behind the keyboard and show out hateful, shoo out hateful comments, and you really don't know what a person is going through. No, you don't. A lot of times we just sit, and I say we in general, we just sit on these on this internet. Well, I'm going to let them know what they eat again, girl, please. And I tell people too, don't do this if you don't have a thick skin, because you're gonna have people talking about you all day long. If you get on here thinking everybody's gonna love you, everybody's gonna have something nice to say to you, don't get on here because it's not. You know, one of my favorite quotes comes from D. Devon Teese. She is a burlesque dancer, if you will. She says, "You could be the sweetest and ripest peach," and I'm paraphrasing, in the bunch, and there will be somebody who don't like peaches. So it's like everybody ain't gonna like peaches, but that don't mean you don't be the best peach you could be, right? But again, it just being on the internet and dealing with people on the internet, sometimes it does suck a lot of uh, positive energy out of you. And so, give out. You also say people are on social media daily. You must take a break from social media and live life. Yeah, and that's one of my goals for 2023 is to unplug a little bit more and get more in tuned to things outside of it. And Go Fi, as you says, rest assured, God has a plan. Oh, absolutely. And Quicks 66, how are you doing? It says people who decide to commit the final act are sometimes happy right before due to relief that they won't be here for much longer. And that's very true. Like you said, a lot of people in notes that they left behind have said that they are seeking relief, right? There's a lot of pressure and just things going on there, tormented. And so you actually make a good point, although those of us that are left behind, we would that they would not do that. And Earth Angel says the creator is real. Too many worship material gain. You ain't lying. You can't put things over people because you can get things, but it's hard to get people. You can't get people back, right? Especially if they are no longer on the earth. Reggie says, right, go have a drink and shake it off. That ain't good advice. Exactly. That's what we tell each other. I just go lay down somewhere. Get you some ginger ale. Drink you some ginger ale. You'll be all right. It's like, I don't know about that. And so, Earth Angel, you also say, people, be mindful of what you do and who you surround yourself with. The creator is real. Breathe. And Thunder, how are you doing? Long time no see. He says, question, why is it when a woman self deletes, it's because it was trauma or external problems, but when a man self deletes, they say it was an act of cowardice? Where is the compassion for what men endure? Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I would imagine that anybody who does that to themselves, they are tormented. They are trying to escape something that they feel is bigger than them and something bigger than they can handle. And so I don't think we should be labeling genders as to why women do it and why men do it. Nevertheless, they do it for whatever reason. And to say that a man is cowardice to do it, I mean, you ain't in that person's shoes, so you can't say what they are. But again, that kind of stuff comes from, and I know that opinion is kind of outside of the internet too, but I'm sure you all have seen quite a bit of conversation about his passing, and you have people who just say just ridiculous things. They espouse their own uninformed, ignorant views on somebody's situation to which they have no knowledge of. So, regardless of why they do it, it's an unfortunate act.
And it's tough. I mean, listen, um, and women, you getting some of y'all getting what you wanted. Um, it's getting tougher to be a man these days. I just know, I did my cooking show last night and I forgot to post it, so nobody could get to it because I didn't probably. So you have to see it later. But I was doing the show, and I have my female co-host, and I went to say something to her, and I was like, "Oh, I can't say that no more because we can't like even get close to the line." And then she said something, and I was like, "Oh, it's the He Too movement." I feel insulted. I was just joking, but I'm thinking, damn, as a man, you can't even. There's certain things that we can't really do anymore. And I think men are starting to struggle with that. Like I went shopping yesterday, just to grab a couple things, and I said something to the clerk, and I was like, I love watching you smile. I was back there, and just seeing how happy he was. I decided to buy another shirt, just like that. And she was just smiling and laughing, and then, and then I could just see the girl next to her was just kind of like, no, he didn't. Like you can't. I'm like, damn. I'm a man. If I want to tell this girl she's attractive and she's making my day by smiling, like we gotta like back up a little bit. Number one. Two, my other thing, I wrote down an idea. I have this book my assistant gave to me. It says I need a drink, right? And so I leave this book, and if you look at my house, ain't nothing else. And I try and write in this book when I can. And so just doing the show right now, I think I have an idea. Before you commit suicide, leave a suicide note to your funeral attendees. Give it to them in advance and give them 2 or 3 days to read it before you commit suicide. I know it seems kind of weird, but like this, like Twitch is gone, right? And I know people every 40 seconds you say kill themselves. You commit suicide. The thing that is really selfish about that is you leave everyone guessing for the rest of their life. Like if I took my life tonight, I know my kids, every single one of them are going to go through their mind, what could we have done differently? And I can think of 40, 50 people that would go, damn, like we were just with him Saturday and we talked to him yesterday. Was it something I said? I ain't gonna kill myself or nothing nobody said. But like, what if we like started a whole movement? Like, leave a note first. Like I believe I have these crazy ideas. I don't believe in funerals, so to speak, as I believe in having a funeral for somebody before they die. Here's what I mean by that. Right? Let's say, and you can pick a date. Let's say you're 75, right? And you like, I know I ain't gonna make it too much longer. We should have a funeral for you right now while you're alive. Get this shit out the way so everybody could say, like, think about this for a second. Let's just keep it real. I go to your funeral and oh, he was such a good man. Praise the Lord. Who gives a damn? One, he's dead. You dead. You ain't hearing shit I'm saying, right? And if you dead and people say, oh, he's such a good man, we love you. No, you don't, because you'd have called my black ass more often. So don't gas me. What if we give people their flowers while they are alive? You know what I'm saying? I'm 53. Let's say we do my funeral next year, December 1st, on my birthday. I'm going to call all my friends. I'm going to call everybody I know. I'm going to put it on social media. I'm doing my funeral today. Or I'm doing my funeral on this date. And all the good shit you want to say to me, you want to name a street after me, all this stuff, do it right now while I'm alive. Because when I'm dead, I ain't going to feel it. And the fact that I'm hearing it now might give me more energy to do something different. Or maybe not want to take my life one day. You know what I'm saying? Like naming a street after somebody that is already dead. Like Martin Luther King Boulevard. Who gives a damn? The dude is dead. Why not name the street after the dude while he's alive? Sometimes as humans, we roll in misery. Like I can tell, I have some of my boys who and I said to my boy Jay Franklin, I was like, man, how come I only see these Negroes at a funeral? I ain't seen none of these cats in years. The only time we see each other is at a funeral. That ain't cool. So why don't we start doing that? Matter of fact, why don't everybody tonight, I started working on mine right now. Leave a suicide note and tell everybody what's bugging you and your weaknesses and see what they can do to help. You understand what I'm saying? And then let's see how, I bet you if we could go after that number, because there's a lot of people like, okay, 40 seconds, it's 3:39, at 3:40, somebody's gonna be dead. Like, what if we could reach out to that person? I think that makes more sense, right? And this dude Twitch, he's dead, but like, it would have been cool to know what was bugging him. You got a hit show. I know the Ellen show ended abruptly. Same shit we talking about. I don't even remember what Ellen did for her show to end. I can't even remember what it was, but it was something harassment. One of her bitch ass employees who are making $200,000 a year to hold up lights, say camera action, wasn't treated fairly. Like, come on. How many of y'all go to work and make $40,000? Your boss talk to you like crap. Like, we need to get out of our feelings and grow some balls and just say, hey, man, life ain't all that bad. You went home, woke up, your boss is kind of a jerk. You ever thought about the pressure she's dealing with? Hiring 400 people and listen to y'all bitch all the damn time?
What do you think about this? You have a few people that's kind of, questioning the funeral thing before you go.
Like you said, everybody don't like peaches. Shit, I think we should have a funeral up front. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about this. Shit, while we at it, let's just put all silly shit on the table. Like, why we in it? Why are we throwing having birthday parties for 1 year olds? Why are we wasting all that time and money? They don't even know what the hell's going on. You get my point? Why don't we do something for people so they can feel it? I remember when I did, you was there, I did my mom's eulogy. You know what I'm saying? And so when I'm doing my mom's eulogy, I'm thinking I should have said this to her. You know what I'm saying? And me and my mom, we had a good relationship. Me and my mom, we talked all the time. Even when my sisters, they was arguing and acting fool. I always got that 6 a.m. phone call. I don't know why she thought my black ass was always awake. But I was just thinking, these are some of the things I could have said to her more. Not that I didn't have any regret, but going like I have all my mom's books, her 4 books and her manuscripts, all that shit is in my garage, right? And I'm just going through, I'm like, whoa, my mom has skills. You know what I'm saying? Could I have not taken like 2 or 3 more minutes per day and said, hey, what's with the manuscript? You know what I'm saying? And everybody has something like that about them. We wait too long to tell them. And I know since this is, somebody mentioned something about black people, so I'm just going to jump on the black subject real quick, which is most of the planet, because most people have some sort of African descent anyways. So really, we're talking about most of the planet, if not all of it. But we tend to reminisce on pain. Black people, man, if you took church away in the sad funerals, in the sweet potato fries at the repast, 50% of our time would be freed up to do other shit. Like, seriously. If I see a bunch of black people on the corner in suits, I'll bet my life it's a funeral. Guaranteed it's a funeral. And we are so proud of that. Swing low, sweet chariot, Negro Damas is dead. What if we said, you know what? Hey, brother, I know you having a rough life, but I appreciate what you tried to do for your family, and I know you still got time left. So we're going to celebrate you while you're alive. You know what I'm saying? If there's something you need, holler back. I'm sitting here watching Netflix. I'd rather be having a drink with you. You know what I'm saying? Anyways. So yeah, you don't have to agree with the funeral, but I think funerals are a waste of time and money. Don't remember me. Confront me. Let's kick it while I'm alive. Like this week, I invited all my boys over for a steak dinner. I said, I'm making steak. I'm getting down in the kitchen. I'm gonna hire a chef, and she's gonna cook for us, and we're just gonna get down and eat steak, and we're gonna drink these wines I got from Europe. You know what I'm saying? And one of my boys said, well, let me get back. So I said, no, Negro, no, get back to me. I'm reaching out to my fellas so we can kick it. Now, if I died today, you ain't gonna be like, yo, let me get back to you. If I died on Monday, my funeral was on Wednesday, your black ass is gonna be there. So why don't we have dinner on Friday while we still alive? That's what we need to get to. That's why I think the funeral is a scam, as is a birthday party for a 1-year-old. It's a waste of money for 2 occasions. You know what I'm saying? Day and night. I don't know how that song go, Babyface or After 7. It's 2 occasions that are a total waste of money. Period. I don't want a funeral. Drop my black ass in the ocean and do something else with the money. Matter of fact, let's spend the money before I die.
Yeah, and it's and hello to everybody that came on here. Yeah, so there's a lot of people who talk about not leaving anything. I'm not leaving. I'm spending it all. I'm leaving nothing behind. I don't want you circling my body when I'm gone, trying to figure out what I left you. Because I think they're like the premise is I'm going to enjoy that while I'm here, right? Because a lot of times people don't. They're like, oh, I'm going to save everything for those who are left behind once I'm gone. It's like, well, do you want to use some of that to have fun or go travel, or something like that? And in all fairness, maybe they have, and they just feel like, well, I don't think there's anything else I need to do. But yeah, I have heard people say that they would not prefer a funeral. They're going to spend it all before they leave. Or let's celebrate me now. And I think you make a good point. A lot of times we go to funerals and we say things about people that we should have really said to them while they were alive? Did you tell them that I really enjoyed coming to your house every, holiday or whatever, and then eating dinner with you? And I love the way you cared about people and you were my favorite person. Because that's the kind of stuff we hear people say at funerals. Oh, it was my, favorite auntie, and, all this other stuff. And so I'm sure, I'm not saying those people didn't say that already to those people, but it surely does make you wonder, because I know one thing is for sure: when someone passes, a loved one, especially someone like your mother. We lost our mom about 6 years ago. I didn't feel the need to speak. Obviously my brother needed to deliver the eulogy, which I think was very tough to do, but I didn't feel compelled to speak because my mom knew how I felt about her when she was here. She knew I loved her, and I cared for her. So I didn't feel the need to do that. But yeah, it's definitely a great concept and something good to think about. And I know a lot of times we think about a funeral, we think, oh, that's so morbid. Oh, it's so dark and it's so morbid. But it's like, you would rather say that to somebody who is, no longer physically here? Would you rather say that to them while they are here and they can receive that? Of course, we hear, give me my flowers while I'm still here. Well, the same thing would be true in regards to a funeral, I would think, right?
Yeah, it's a waste of money. And especially for people, you know, and it's not just black people. I know everyone has funerals, but like, it's a waste of money. And the only person really getting rich is the funeral directors. You know what I'm saying? Half the time the body ain't there anyway. They put the shit somewhere else. They just charging you for a headstone. Trust me, I was in financial services for decades. I've seen them toss bodies out the back. Matter of fact, there's a funeral home where we used to live. I saw a van pull up and take 5 or 6 bodies out, and I saw smoke coming from the incinerator. And I had never seen somebody move so fast. And it's a waste. Let's do it while we're alive. And while we're on the subject, since this is the money show, and you can leave that up for a second because I'm gonna address that, as you know I am. So, first of all, here's how you live your life. And like people say, I ain't gonna leave my kids nothing. Well, shame on you. That's horse shit, right? And I'm sure there's somewhere in some religions that say you should take care of the next generation. So, what I would recommend for somebody that wanted to just be that type of person, well, first, and I don't know how you spend your money down to zero, but life insurance is the easiest way to do that. Like me, if I die, my kids get a couple $1,000,000. AIG would be like, boom, here you go. Here's what your father wanted. Do that. If you truly don't want to save a legacy, just buy life insurance for $75 for a 50-year-old. You get a life insurance policy. Boom, you have a stroke, to cut your check so they can wipe your face. And if you die, your kids get some money because you should leave a legacy. So that's cheap. And so the fact that we still having this conversation is mind-blowing to me. Number one. Number two, if you're not saving money, I don't care what your financial situation is, you are doing yourself dirty. Like dirtier than Christina Aguilera's second album. Like dirty, dirty, dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a human being and you're not putting money away, you are screwing yourself. Death to Smoochie. I don't care if you make $2 an hour. God damn it, put 20 cents away. Period. And if you cannot do that, and if you can't get life insurance because of your health, that's a whole different story. Then you really need to be stocking up or saving or doing something else. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of this stuff that we deal with as people is based on the fact that we don't have our shit together financially. Like, come on, man. Like, somebody sent me a GoFundMe the other day. Somebody's dog died. I don't remember who it was. It slips me. But I got a GoFundMe message for somebody's dog dying. I was kind of irritated. But I was just thinking, and I get those messages for humans too. Especially when I get a GoFundMe message, because everyone knows that I sold life insurance. And they know that if you need it, I know where you can go get it. The fact that we're dealing with that makes me irritated. So when I hear someone say, I'm not leaving my family anything, I would just roll up in the white van, kidnap that person, and just remove them from the environment. You know what I'm saying? Because those type of people is what's screwing up the curve. Leave your family something. I don't care what it is. So, and maybe it's knowledge. Leave them a blueprint. My mom died. She didn't have a lot of money, but one thing my mom always did, she dropped knowledge. She always, gave us advice. She was like, do this. My mom is one of the reasons I got into financial services in the first place. And we got 4 books and a play in my garage. You know what I'm saying? If we ever get ourselves organized enough, we could put those out. You know what I'm saying? D, don't think I forgot about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to pitch in, Jeremiah, y'all, it's in my garage. I need 75%. So you have to contribute, and you have to love yourself enough to take care of your present and your future. And it's less likely, I'll just be real, that someone, and I don't know Twitch's situation, I'm assuming he had enough money to survive and do well. But loving yourself is the start of a lifelong romance. If you take care of yourself and you treat yourself better, sooner or later you will fall in love with yourself enough to where you will say, you know what, I'm not going to take my life. I'm going to do things differently. But you got to love yourself enough to take care of yourself. And that's putting money away, period. And I'm not talking about people say we got to pray. Listen, we as Black people, people of color, Indian, Puerto Rican, I don't care who you are, we have prayed enough. What we haven't done enough of is do work, period. Because if we did as much work as we do praying, we wouldn't need to pray as much. We could just say, yo, God, thanks for giving me the ability to do what you gave me the option to do. Not, I'm going to pass the bucket and pray over the love. Like, come on, that's some bullshit. Like, why don't we just do the work? Like, what did you do today to better your life? And how you got paid on Friday? How much of that money is still going to be with you 6 weeks from now? And this is the money show. That's why I kind of switch gears a little bit, right? This is Wealth Wednesdays. So I don't care what it is, people. Just follow me on this. You get paid $1, put 10 cents somewhere. And if you can't pay your bills, get rid of that bill. You guys, and I'm the last person to recommend bankruptcy. That's not what I'm about. But I would rather see somebody do that than walk away with not have no money. Let me tell you something. Right now, Morgan Stanley, a lot of the banks are laying off. They're laying off white collar dudes like me, right? I don't work for them, but those are the guys that are laying off. Do you know why they're doing that? Because they want to keep money in their bank account. Carvana is in bankruptcy right now. Do you know what bankruptcy is? It means I owe you $100 million, but I'm giving you 5. So the other 95 million, I'm not giving you. Not only am I not giving you, I'm writing it off. You take your tax deduction, and it ain't your money anyways. It belongs to the people who have 401ks with you. They're the ones losing the money. So I'm not going to pay you. I'm going to give you 5. I'm going to restructure, and Carvana next year will be better than ever. You as a human being have the ability to do that, but that is a last ditch, destroy your life financially and your credit option. I'd rather see somebody do that. In the words of Donald Trump, it's the art of the deal. You have to protect yourself. And I'm not quoting Trump on politics. Don't get all weird on me. I'm just saying, like, the dude filed bankruptcy multiple times. And right now, if he ain't running from the law, he's sitting up in the penthouse somewhere, him and Barron and whatever he got going on. We could learn from that. You have to take care of yourself at all costs. I'm not going to be sitting out here, right? And you can leave that comment up. I'll deal with it. We're not going to sit here and not take care of ourselves, right? And mental health. So if you were listening to me earlier, I said I wanted to move the conversation on. This is the money show. So I'm getting away from mental health a little bit. But mental health does have something with financial health. Do you understand? You know that the happiest I've been is knowing that I have resources that I could go to if shit gets rough. I got a phone call yesterday. You know, I sell cars, right? Which pays me $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a week. That's a good portion of my income. I got a phone call yesterday that we were closing the business down. I got that call yesterday. So that's $2,000 to $5,000 a week just disappeared from my income yesterday. And so I was like, shit. I'm like, okay, that's not the word I use. I use a bunch of words because he was on the phone. He's like, you got to do something. We need your help. I was like, you know what? I'm over it, dude. I'm going to do something different. I got too many other things going on. But the fact that I have some resources laying around here and there and a couple properties, I was like, you know what, man? Worst come to worst, I can go live in my house in Texas and I can sweep my own damn floors and wipe my own damn tables. Worst come to worst. So the point I'm making is if you do things for you and you get bad news, the news isn't as bad. And no, this isn't a cure for mental health, but people, be honestly, would you be happier with money saved or not? And don't tell me people don't take their life over money. I would guarantee that a lot of people that take their life do so over money. Because I know people. I had a friend of mine, Alex Green, in Vegas, killed himself and left a note over money. Financial shit. Wanted to make sure his family was straight. He had life insurance. So the life insurance paid his family straight, but he's gone. But I guarantee you, they would want him versus just having his money. So financial health and mental health are very close. And if you don't believe me, think about the last time you found money in one of your pockets and what that did to your spirits. Yeah, and then people aren't ready for this. But you know what? You don't have to be ready for everything. You know what I'm saying? Right? And his wife, it ain't us to judge what they were going through. You know what I'm saying? As far as we know, they could have been going through a divorce. So maybe he was sad about that. Who knows? And people mourn in different ways. You know what I'm saying? There's some funerals I went to, I didn't cry. I didn't cry at my mom's funeral. I was sad. You know what I'm saying? But I showed my feelings in a different way. Right? That's the other thing too, you guys. If you treat people right, you don't really have to do so much. You can do more like praising at their funeral. You know what I'm saying?
Let me jump in here for a second. So I see a lot of people saying, um, and the Oracle of Delphi said, does he not comprehend mental illness? And so some people are thinking that you're equating his mental illness or what he did being Twitch to money. So we have switched gears because this is Wealth Wednesdays where we do talk about money. So we're not saying that that's why Twitch is no longer here. We don't know why he's no longer here. His wife said that, he removed himself from the planet. And so we would never speculate as to what his issues were. We're just saying what some remedies may be to help people live a better life. And we're not discounting mental illness because there's people who got trillions and gazillions of dollars and houses and gold on hills and all that, and they still do not want to be here for whatever reason. So we never, ever, ever, ever gonna say that money is a fix, because if money was a fix, no one would leave, right? You guys know the story of it was David Rockefeller. I think that man had like 8 or 9 heart transplants. He left up out of here at 109 or 8 years old. The point being, the Rockefellers are some of the richest people ever to walk this earth. And he spent lots of money. You know how hard it is for a person to get one heart waiting for a transplant? He lined up and got like 8 or 9 hearts. And maybe I'm inflating the number, but the point is he got more than one. So he was trying to spend all of his money to stay here by getting heart after heart after heart. When most people will say, okay, I'm like as old as Methuselah at this point. Maybe it's time for me to leave. Walt Disney, they said he is sitting on ice somewhere after he died. We got cryogenically frozen or something in case somebody figures out how to bring people back from the dead. So the point that I am making is no amount of money is going to solve death. Whether you take yourself from here, whether it's your time, you get hit by a bus or whatever the case is. Steve Jobs was the creator of Apple. He said it many times he would give it all up to be here. So please don't mistake us in thinking that we're saying that money is a remedy. It is not. It is simply not.
And let's move on, because I don't want to spend a bunch of time in the comment section for people that aren't paying attention. Because I said we need to move on. It's the money show. But the two are connected to some degree. Sometimes it is what it is, but money is not The fact that rich people, yeah, they do kill themselves. One of my favorite frontmen, Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, took his life. You know what I'm saying? And he was so money is not everything, but for a lot of us, a lot of people down at these levels, money is a lot of it because of lack of not just money, but lack of control of money. Like I just said to you earlier, I got like, so if somebody finds out, yo, to not like, oh, you're getting 2 weeks notice, like today, your income, like just, 100 grand of your income, it's just gone right now. You know what I'm saying? I have to come home and tell my wife, like, yeah, I lost my job or our income is gone and we don't have no money saved. And, we need to pull the kids out of school. We need to move back to the hood and all this shit. You need to give up your car. And I need to give up my car. We need to go move with your mama and all this shit. You tell me that wouldn't contribute to her mental health? Come on now. Miss me with that shit. So the point I'm making is taking care of you is priority number one. I know for a fact, if I was not following my own advice, and let's say I just got sad and I took my life, I know my kids would suffer mentally for the rest of their life. They're gonna be like, damn, why did he kill himself? And you guys, suicide is one of the coldest, most cruelest things you could do to your family. Because regardless of what ghost happens to you, they get to sit here on this planet and they sit here and mourn you for the rest of your life. Not like, oh, he was hit by a car, he was killed in an accident, he took his life, and did it have something to do with me? What could I have done differently? That's the shit that I worry about. And money isn't everything. It is up there with oxygen. That is the truth from the left to the right, to the side to side. People say, oh, money's not everything. Oh, that's a damn lie. Okay, maybe it's not, but I tell you what, hold your breath and empty your pockets. You know what I'm saying? It's the same feeling. So we need to at least grab one thing that we can control. I can't control your mental health. I have but I can contribute to it, right? I can say, like I told the girl at the store, I said, you are really pretty and I love your smile. I just like, you made me want to buy another shirt. I love seeing happy people. And I know they ain't paying you shit. You know what I'm saying? But you're still up here smiling and happy. Man, this chick watched me walk out the door with a smile on her face. I know if I take my black ass up in there tomorrow or tonight, she gonna smile when she see me. And you don't know what you do to people when you walk across them and give them a compliment. You know what I'm saying? And to the comment I made earlier, I'm gonna switch gears, y'all. Stay with me. Right? I moved a little bit. When I was talking about men, somebody said something about men being cowardice or the feeling of men. Men are not being, because we're letting it happen. Is demasculinized the word, or women are becoming more masculine?
Emasculation as far as men, and then to your point, I guess the women are becoming more masculine.
Emasculine. Like there's a way to be a man without being insulting. Like I said to one of my friends, I said, damn girl, you look good today. I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say I want to hit it. I was saying you look good today. Women, can I ask you a question? Why do you get dressed, put on heels and makeup, and do all the stuff you do, and can't nobody compliment you? You know what I'm saying? I got my hair cut yesterday. I bought this shirt so people can go, damn, this is a sexy black man right here in the kitchen. I didn't even wear my apron on my cooking show. I wanted to show off my shirt. The only reason I bought this shirt because I wanted the compliments and I want to look good. Otherwise, I would have came out butt naked. You know what I'm saying? In some shorts and some boots. Billy Porter style. No, I'm just playing, but you get the point. So women allow us to do, like, open the door for a friend of mine. She's like, oh, shit. I was like, it's got that bad, huh? That a man can't even open a woman's door without the earth having a crack in the middle of it. So we just need to loosen up. Be nicer to each other and be nicer to yourself, right? One of the shirts on Verbal Herb, you can go to right now and get one, is no is a complete sentence. Telling somebody no, I can't do it means you could do it for you. Right? Can I borrow some money? Hell no. I lost a really good friend a couple weeks ago over money. She called me, asked me for money. I was like, I'm not doing it. I said, and furthermore, let me tell you why I'm not. Because I woke my black ass up at 5 a.m. I haven't eaten in almost 15 days, and I will work an 18-hour day today. And your ass, I know for a fact, slept in. And I can go to your Facebook and see you with a cup of coffee at 10 a.m. chilling. My black ass has been up 5 hours. You got the audacity to ask me for money? I said I will slice my throat before I give you a penny. Period. And that's it. I told her no, which means that $600, $700, $800 I can put into my business, or I can put, if I wanted to go out and eat sushi at the beach, or kick it with a homeless dude and smoke cigars, or give a homeless dude $50, that's something I could say yes to, which means I'm being nice to me. And I think if we do more of that, some of these issues will go away. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be nice to yourself, I think, before other people. Like, look at Kim K, for instance, right? I'm not fasting. Hell to the no. Saturday night, I had a bowl of soup, and then I had some crackers and vegetables. Sunday, and then Monday, I ate crackers and some, not crackers, but like some cauliflower crackers. And last night, I had salmon, sushi. I went down. So I'm back at it, but I do appreciate food better than ever, right? So what is it, Jennifer Hudson show he wanted? I don't understand that.
So I guess he went on to the Jennifer Hudson show and said that he wanted more children. He being Twitch.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't want no more kids. Kids are a lot of work, especially these days. There's no way in hell I bring a kid into this world. But can you imagine what the comment section is going to be like in 10 years? Can you imagine social media in 15, 20 years? Can you imagine? I could not do that. Let me go back to what I was talking about, Kim K. So Kim Kardashian, I watch CNBC. And today, like, I saw her commercial, her skin commercial 10 times. And I was like, if they don't, why is Kim K showing, why do they keep showing her picture on CNBC? What is it? Skin by Kim. Or whatever commercial is. I know. And I thought, this is one of the most hated women in America, but yet she's still putting her face all over the damn television. If she can do it, you can do it. Right? I watched an episode of The Kardashians on Hulu just by mistake. I couldn't find my remote, and the TV popped on by itself, and my Hulu, and that shit was on for 30 minutes until I found the remote control. And I was just like, these cats are happy. On camera anyways, but they got more hate than anybody. Ain't none of us got that much hate. So what if we just appreciated our lives and took better care of ourselves? And call somebody and say, hey man, I was thinking about you. You know, just call one person today. Hey man, I was thinking about you. Why don't you come over tonight? Let's have a drink. You know what I'm saying? You was on my mind. Let's kick it. That goes a long way. So we should practice that and stay in the real. Don't pray for me. You know, when I was doing my fast, somebody was like, no, I'm going to pray for you. I said, no, don't pray for me. I don't need that. What I need you to do is when my fast is up, is to bring a steak over or bring over a nice bottle of wine or give me some advice on how to fast. I don't need you to pray for me. I got all that under control. Give me something I can feel, something I can touch.
Let me answer Pam's question. So you asked, you said that people are starting to have house parties. I remember house parties from back in the day. They actually kind of had become unsafe, especially living in Southern California for some reason. And I'm sure everywhere else, people like to, use their little pews and, and shoot them up or whatever. But if people are starting to have house parties, I mean, I guess that's good. People are getting together. But I know back in the day, and this is probably a little bit before my time, In my mother's generation, my father's generation, they would have what you call rent parties. I was a house party where they would invite people to come over and they would charge them a fee at the door to come in. And the premise of that was to raise rent, for the upcoming month or what have you. And so you said people are having house parties to play cards and things like that. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I think people need to really start getting back together again in person and having conversations and, just being in merriment with one another again. With this thing called the internet, I think it's robbed people of real time relationships and interaction. I mean, hell, especially during the pandemic, people were having parties on Zoom, right? So I think it's a great idea to have house parties. I'm not opposed to it. I'm probably not one to throw a house party per se, but I definitely would pop into one. But yeah, I don't see the problem with it at all. I think people need to get together more often. Um,
We
my
need house
daughter.
parties. We need them. People need to get back together.
Mhm.
I mean, this COVID shit, believe me, whatever plan they had, it probably works. I'm sure we'll figure out what it's going to be later. But like people, we need to get together. Like we need to, like that, like you take away interaction from human beings. Like people are going to, people are going to fade without interaction. So I say we do. Let me know when y'all having a house party. I'll show up. I love house parties. My sister tell you I was a king of parties. I do parties all the time. I like people. I think we should get together. See what's happening.
Yeah, and Pamela, like you said, inflation has gone up. Jerome, what's his last name? Escapes my mind. What's his name?
Jerome Powell, actually,
Powell. I was
inflation,
about to say Powers. Yeah, Powell.
it's
Um,
going down. It's just it's not going down fast enough. But like core inflation, like real estate, some of those things are taking a beating. But energy prices are going up due to the war in Ukraine and some of the things. And then inflation um, is tough to tame because of the job market is still so tight. So many people have left the workforce. So the job market is tight. A lot of people decided they're not going back to work, and there's just some people that are said to hell with it. I don't need all that. I'm happy. I can wake up and have coffee, and 8 of us live in this house, but we chilling. My neighbors, they got 10 people living over there, 6 adults, 4 kids going down. They got 2 dogs, but man, they be over there laughing and giggling all damn day. I'm thinking, damn, what would it be like if I had 10 people living here, everybody splitting these bills, and I was paying $300 a month to live in this house? So I'd have somebody sitting next to me right now, my left and my right. Somebody be on the couch back there. So maybe I don't want that, but like sometimes I think people have just said, I'm over it. Think about it. You got 2 beautiful cars. When was the last time? How often do you drive your cars? My Range Rover, my boy borrowed my Range Rover shit on Friday. I woke up this morning looking for I forgot I'd even lent him the car. Today is Wednesday. He's had my Range Rover almost a week. I forgot all about it. I was
here's
like,
a
I don't need that
question
damn
for you.
car.
Yeah,
Huh?
here's a question for you right here.
We're in a slump due to war, which has caused inflation. Are we closer to depression? Yes, of course. Because here's what happens, and here's what the Fed is trying to deal with. And this is why I keep telling people, you got to stack money. You got to put money away or do something to make more of it. Because what happens, the Federal Reserve, their job is to catch inflation. So we got all this stimulus money and everybody spent it. So everything went up, right? So now we're not getting that stimulus money anymore. But a lot of those people are refusing to go back to work. So the labor market is tight, right? Because people are looking for employees. And the blue collar, white collar workers are in oversupply. Blue collar workers are at lack. So for instance, I run a corporation and I got some robots. I got some robots that do the AI that my white collar cats were doing. But what I don't have is somebody to sweep the floor, serve the food, mop the foyer, do those things. Those are the jobs that are missing, right? And those people, in my opinion, those jobs are going to be everywhere. But the Fed's job is to keep inflation at bay. If they tighten interest rates too high and then we shock the system too much, then that's guy who's trying to get a small business loan that can't, keep his business going, has to let people off. And then everyone starts doing it. And those guys that get laid off, they stop spending. And then we hit a recession. And that's what they're trying to control. And this is real sticky, you guys. I don't know if you watched Jerome Powell today when he spoke. I watched the whole thing when they came out with the interest rate hike. And I watched his whole speech. And I was like, wow, they are teetering on collapse. But here's the thing, you guys. All those people on answering the questions on CNBC, Jerome Powell, they're all rich. Jim Cramer on CNBC, he is rich. They interviewed a guy, and he was like, oh yeah, real estate in Lower Manhattan is doing well. The average rent's $5,400 a month. Oh, it's doing well. If you give them a gym and a smoothie bar, and the world is doing great. Those cats are rich already. Those cats, they're not thinking about you. Jerome Powell came out and was like, yeah, we want the average American citizen. He's worried about them. But these cats, he was like, oh yeah, I walked from Cipriani to work today. Like, most people don't know what it's like to have a $400 lunch and then walk to a $1 million office building. You know what I'm saying? But those people are rich. The everyday person that is punching the clock today, the white collar dude that is getting the notice that his job has been eliminated and he ain't got no money saved, that dude is in trouble. And that is most of the people out there who think it's funny not to have no fucking money saved, or who won't make a move. Like, miss me with the prayer shits and get to work. Like, it blows me away how I had a buddy of mine who used to use this term cushy, which means you just sit at home, you just cushy, you ain't doing shit. Your future just lingering. You know, every episode on Netflix, you can tell me what the top 10 is, but you not working on this side hustle that you have. It blows me away. And it scares me because those people are going to be in the streets, they're going to be homeless. Or when, like, those of you guys who love these liberals, you voted for these, you wanted blue no matter who. It's about you guys are. Let me explain to you what's happening with our government right now. You know, we got Warnock in there, right? And so boom, the agenda's set. Do you know what socialism looks like? Go to Cuba. Today, I was watching CNBC and a bunch of people had their tax returns released by the IRS. They're being sued. IRS is being sued. They are doing shit like that to say, hey, people, we want full control. And not only is that happening, we have these ministers of misinformation that are throwing information out there. You know, black people, you got to do certain things a certain way. You got to vote for this cat. Instead of saying, no, save your money, protect you and your family at all costs. If you don't own a piece of land right now, you guys, I'm telling you, are screwing yourself. Because it's going to become a day where you're going to need that piece of land. You can take your RV or park your car on it, and you have a place to kick it. Watch and see. Right now, rents are, I know they're coming down a little bit. And, you know, the housing market is frozen. But who do you think is going to start buying these homes? Corporations. And what do you think they're going to do? Raise the rent. And if your rent doubled today, where would you sleep next month?
And the fact that you say that or ask that question, if your rent were to double next month, where would you stay? Because that's happening to a lot of people. A lot of people are seeing huge increases on their rent, and they are having to ask that question. Where can I stay? And I thought about a concept called the Great Shack Up. Now, I'm not talking about unless you want to, right? The shack up where you get with your girlfriend, your boyfriend that's unmarried. I'm talking about the shack up in which people are saying, hey, you know what? Times are hard. Family member, let's move in together. Or friends, let's move in together. Let's share the load so that we are not as stressed financially. And we can build some things, right? Let's endure whatever we need to be under the same roof and share the responsibility. What a lot of other communities do that, unfortunately, and we talk about this a lot on the show, on the Money Show. A lot of people in our community don't want to do that. We cannot fathom sharing a housing responsibility with perhaps another family. I know somebody who is in the delivery business, and they said they delivered some furniture to a house that was owned by Asians, and he said there was like 3 or 4 couples that lived under the same roof. And it's like, because that's what they do. They're like, okay, we can stand living next to each other long enough to build something, right? And so we're coming to the point in time where housing is still out of control. Homelessness is still skyrocketing. I think I read a number somewhere. It says since 2015 to 2020, homelessness, if you will, has gone up 77%. That's a lot. And so we're going to see that more and more. We hear Jerome Powell talking about the inflation. And he kind of like tried to deny that we're in a recession, but it's like, come on, most people can see that we are. Per this comment here, Pamela says she knows a guy that had to close after 23 years and didn't see it coming. That's true for a lot of people. And so the other question is, what are you willing to do to save yourself?
He should have saw it coming, though. He should have saw it coming.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with that, but I think
that's the big boy draws side of it.
Right.
I got laid off when I was 19. I said, never again. I'm gonna give another man and to strip my dignity, have my black ass walk through a building carrying my box, saying goodbye to people for the last time. I would lick my own ass before I put myself in a position to have another cat do me like that. So my question being, if you work for somebody for 23 years, stack your money. That way, when you do get laid off, you can turn around and open up some shit next to them and put them out of business like Sam Walton did when Kmart let his ass go. When's the last time you saw a Kmart? You know what they are now? Mexican and Chinese indoor swap meets. That is your local Kmart right now. That's what you do. So, yeah, it sucks he worked there 23 years. But the big boy says, yo, man, you're going to get this job. I just had this conversation with my son-in-law, Mark, right? He's young, him and my daughter. And we were talking about financial advice, and he's talking about his 401ks investments. I was like, dude, stack, and leave this up, D. Stack your money.
I'll come back to it. I'll catch up with some of these comments.
I said, Mark, stack your money at all costs. And he's like, yeah, I'm taking care. I said, I know you're taking care of my kid. I appreciate it. You got a son. I said, dude, stack your money as much as you can. I don't care where you put it, just stack it. And that was my advice to him. So what do you think happens to a kid that works for somebody 23 years and he's stacking 20% of his income and he gets laid off? Right? And I knew it was just a matter of time. We'll switch gears again. I was waiting to see when this Becky comment was going to come up.
I mean, I don't think that in a large.
That's kind of fucked up. That's
okay. But let's say this. Let's just.
I mean, if you're gonna make the dude suicide about race, that's shitty. Come on, you guys.
Okay, but I would say this.
Have some decency.
Okay, but let me say this. Let me say this.
Guys, that's not cool.
Let me say this. In the larger scheme of things, I don't even think we need to have that conversation because we talking about God rest the dead, honestly.
Jesus Christ.
Well, we're talking about
he deserves the money. It was just fucking
okay, but it doesn't honestly at this point it really don't even matter. You know what I mean? Because you know why it don't matter? You know why it don't matter?
Jesus Christ.
You know why it don't matter? Because there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can't go get the money from her. There's nothing.
That's black people. That's why we don't have shit.
Let me finish. They can't hear while we both talking.
Go ahead.
At the end of the day, nobody can go to her house and get the money from her. No one can say, "Oh, well, that was a black man's money," and see, the common sense would tell you if anybody's married, it's their money. I'm sure she wasn't having to say, "Can I get $1?" I'm sure she was, privy to the money anyway. So I don't think that's a conversation we need to have. But I think more so we should keep this conversation on what do we do as the living. Listen. Hard times is coming for anybody that is not financially ready, set, go. It's just the truth. It's coming for you, maybe not y'all per se, But anybody who is not prepared, as I always talk about us in our community, we are that frog in the boiling pot of water. We watch everything in the world take place. We hear Jerome Powell get on TV, deny a recession, but talks about inflation and raising and dropping interest rates, and we're like, I'm gonna go on with life as usual, as that frog in the pot of water does. Again, the water is nice and cool. He's backstroking in there, and then it gets hotter. He says, "Oh, it's getting warm. I'm not tripping. I'll just treat it like a jacuzzi." And pretty soon, that frog boils to death. And that is us as Black people. We boil to death because we will not heed the constant warnings. Get yourself together, Black people. Save money, Black people. Move in with a family member, Black people. Practice group economics, Black people. And yes, I am one of those people that's like, Black people marry Black people. I'm just one of those people. So there are things that we should do as Black people, but we know why we're not doing it, because we too busy focus on the low hanging fruit. Yeah, Becky per se got the money. It's their money. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You can't go in and say, "Listen, you need to give it." To me, it's a silly conversation to have, because oftentimes we get stuck on talking about stuff we have no power to control. We don't have no power to control. Even if he didn't pass away, you can't tell that woman or that man what to do with their money. Hell, half the time we can't even decide what to do with our own money. So we really need to get serious. Like, crunch time is past here. We're going to see, this is the question that we have to ask ourselves every day when we wake up. Homelessness is going up. The next numbers that are reported, am I going to be in that number? Am I going to be amongst the working poor? And Frank, I see your comments. I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring your comments. And I hear you're saying stuff about, what do people do basically who can only afford to shop at the Dollar Tree? Well, there's a lot of people who have money that shop at the Dollar Tree. So it's really an issue of how much money do I have? And if I don't have enough money, what do I need to do to get some more money? And I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't ever want to go work at Taco Bell, but damn it, if I needed to go work at Taco Bell, hi, welcome to Taco Bell. May I take your order? If I needed to do that to get back on my feet or to save some more money. And the other thing too is, Frank, I'm not saying this about you, but a lot of times in our community, we are sometimes a little too comfortable. I used to sell life insurance, and I'm not selling it to you now. I don't have the ability to sell it, but I'm telling you, when I sold life insurance, my market was our people. And I would go sit down with our people predominantly, and I would hear it all. Oh, that's a bill. I can't afford it. But the whole time, they got the TVs and all of the bells and the whistles and all this other stuff, cable and all of that. And I would sometimes say, well, would you consider maybe getting a life insurance policy and getting rid of some of, the cable or whatever? Oh, no, I can't do that. And so I say all that to say is, sometimes we allow our comfort zone to ultimately turn into our coffin that, we basically just live in. And so I want to stay focused, honestly, because Black people are out of time. Y'all hear Dr. Todd Anderson talk about it all the time.
Time ran out long time ago. Let me tell you, first of all, this notion of Black people, white people, like that notion is fading, because every day we blend. Like it or not, we blend. Like today, I watched the World Cup. I watched Morocco and France play, right? France got more Black people on their team than any other soccer team. And I was confused. I was like, okay, before I realized, I was like, is that Morocco or France? Because France, I knew because of the colors, they all have, most of their players are Black. In Morocco, which is actually in Africa, because the guy kept saying the African team finally made it to the third place game. I saw like one dude. I know they have our features, that, but they're lighter. But I was just like thinking, the world is so mixed up right now. Everyone's mixed up. But it's funny, we as Black people get so diverted from the money. I don't care if you're a Jew, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Española, Negrito, whatever you want to call yourself. If you put money away and you start taking care of you, your race matters less. Period. The problem is you're going to keep using your race as a crutch until you have shit. But me and my sister got into an argument over Dr. Umar yesterday, and I ain't going to get into the conversation because it was long. But me and her agree on a lot of shit that he says. Right? But what I told her I didn't agree with Dr. Umar is when you tell people you need to go back and undo all these things, when these people can't even put 2 nickels together and come up with 10 cents to start a business or to put, like even my sister sold life insurance. She was broke as hell trying to sell life insurance to Black people. And I know because I fell into the same damn trap. I was making money. I was at $300,000 a year at Amex. And one of my buddies, he's not even a fucking friend of mine. He's a piece of shit. But he goes, yo, we should go help our community. So I go with him to LA. We go do this thing at Crenshaw High School. And my income went from $300,000 to fucking $75,000 in 12 months to help my people. And so I'm watching Dr. Umar talk about Deion Sanders and how he get 50 lashes because he took $5 million over the $300,000. Negro, he don't owe you shit. There's nothing wrong with a Black man that wants to go out and make money for his family. Deion Sanders does not owe Black people shit. He don't owe Jackson University shit. No one knew who Jackson University was until Deion took over. Now you telling me he's a sellout because he left them better off to go get 25 million? Come on, you guys. Y'all need to kiss my ass with that. Every time a brother move, we tear him down. That's whack. I wish Deion was my uncle. Yo, uncle, you got a spot for me? Hey, man, can I give financial advice to those college players so when they get to the NFL, we can keep the money in the family? And I hear Dr. Umar say he had to go to the white man to get his project finished. So the point I'm making is we need to stick to shit we can actually do. We're not going to go back and undo marrying white women and white men. If you want to marry Black, right? In hindsight, yes, we should have all stayed in our race, but we did not. But to keep talking about going back and undoing, like, hey, I love you kids, you half white, but yo, back in the womb, you bitches. Really? Is that what we talking about? Like, I have 3 white kids, half white kids. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna sit there and be like, oh, I wish I would have did it differently. What kind of father would I be? You understand what I'm saying? So Black people, we get stuck on that. Right? And I have true feelings when it comes to Becky because somebody said that to me. Do you guys look at this? You see the bottom of my sister's screen? All that shit that's on there, the anchor, you know who set that shit up for us? Fucking Becky. And I didn't ask, hey, bitch, what color are you?
Well, I want to be clear. Becky ain't said nothing up for me. Demetra had her stuff up and running.
You know what I'm saying? Your shit's running, but like
Becky set stuff up for Walter, and her name ain't Becky, it's Natalie. But Becky did not do anything for me.
Becky, because that's the term we keep calling people.
You. I just want to be clear.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Like, she's been a big help. I don't care if the person is green. If they want to help us, let them help us. You know what I'm saying? We need to stick to that. Like, think about this. Where's Russell Simmons right now? Where's Russell Simmons at?
Indonesia.
He's in Indonesia. Why is he in Indonesia? Yeah, of course, boy, speak your mind, brother. This is a show for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, Russell Simmons is in Indonesia. He is rich. Do you know why Russell Simmons is rich? Because when their manager was high on drugs, their manager Leo stepped in and took him overseas. And we don't owe our success all to Leo Cohen, but like, damn, they made money together. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to focus on. Period. And like I said, we don't have to agree. Period. Right? And I know there's people that disagree about Morocco, but Morocco is in Africa. Right? So Morocco, it's funny, people consider Egypt and Morocco not Africa. That's mind blowing, right? It's whatever, right? It's all Africa. But and I was just making a point about the game. I'm just saying it's so mixed up, the races. It's just hard to know who's who. If you took the uniforms off of them and put them all in white uniforms, you would know who was playing who. You understand what I'm saying? So, but here's one thing I do know is every single one of those soccer players are making big money. And that's what we should be focusing on. We own shit, we buy shit. And if you own a piece of land in this country, if you own something, you have power. That's it. Right? Family first, absolutely. But you have to be first, right? Then you bring your family with you. You understand what I'm saying? That's how we have to function. I have a piece of property, it's 5 acres out in the middle of the desert. And I told my son Miles yesterday, I said, listen, dude, me and your brothers, we're going to have dinner and we're going to grow the fuck up and become men. It's time for us to pull the trigger. All this lollygagging we doing and everybody chill, I said, they ain't going to work no more. Because we never know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I said, I got 5 acres out there. We're building a compound for our family. Something happened to me, y'all always have a place to go. But let's grab the balls, the bull by the balls, or whatever expression is, and let's get to work. No more lollygagging. We're not sitting up here waking up at fucking 10 a.m. We got pajamas and shit on. That's real time. Like, we are being exterminated, not just by the powers that be, but by our own people. I can turn on the TV or Google the news and find a black man that is being ripped apart, not by the white man, but by the black community. That shit is dangerous. We need to reverse that and focus on taking care of ourselves. Stop fucking with Nelly. Stop fucking with all these people.
Stop saying the F word before you get me in trouble.
I apologize. I'm just passionate. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, man. I want to go to an event and just see all black people. Not just that it just has to be just us, but see black people doing well. Just go to an event and we're talking like just about money and peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the cool. I think that would be cool. We're not hating on somebody because, you know, she's dating a white dude or she's dating a Mexican. I don't really care. Let's just get, you know, it's funny, and I want to kind of wrap this conversation with this, at least this part. Remember that movie with Taraji B. Henson, I Can Do Bad by Myself?
Yeah.
I don't know if you was with me or not. We went to the movies. And remember what's the Mexican dude from New York Undercover that was in it? That was her love interest?
Sandino?
The Mexican dude.
Sandino.
He was all, and he cleaned up himself.
Sandino.
And she was like, damn. There was a sister next to me in the movies, and she said to the top of her lungs, damn, I'm getting me a Mexican man. And the whole theater was all black people started busting up. The point I'm making is she was like, I don't care what color he is, as long as he's doing the right thing. And that's what we need to focus on. Doing the right thing. That's it. Try buying a piece of property and building your credit. And then let's come back and have this conversation. Some of you guys that are out there bitching and complaining about your life haven't pulled the trigger yet. Some of you guys, it's 7 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. When this podcast ends, what are you going to do for your family? Are you going back on social media? Or are you going to actually pick up your notebook and start and get back in your business? Are you going to start running your life? Hey, family, let's have dinner and let's talk about money. Give me the phone, fools. No more phones at the table. You know what I'm saying? We have to snatch our family and we have to line them up. Dee knows what I'm talking about. She got a daughter. Shit, Lord have mercy. Thank God my kids are grown. But like, we need to grab our kids and make them do stuff. I told my son Evan today, dude, we got to pull the trigger. I don't know what else to tell you. We are fortunate to live in this country. And you can start a business right now. I could sell this. Somebody mentioned the Dollar Tree. You know what you do when you go to Dollar Tree? Buy 10 of them. And then you take your ass to a swap meet and you sell them for $250. Do you realize if you go on Amazon that some things on Amazon are more expensive. But do you know why? I bought something on Amazon yesterday that was 15% more. You know why I bought it? Because I didn't want to take my black ass to the store. I bought an iron on Amazon that I know is in Target for $15 cheaper. But I bought it because it's sitting on my doorstep right now. And I didn't have to go sit in Target with the idiots shopping for Christmas. So that's what you do at the Dollar Tree. Go to Dollar Tree, get 10. And you go keep one and you sell 9. That's what you do. If you got an old cell phone you're not using, go trade it in, go sell it. And go to GoDaddy for $10 and start you a website. Go to Printify, take a picture of a shirt, send it to Printify, and put it on your website and have somebody click and order and let Printify mail it to them, and you split the money with them. You could do that right now. That's what I did with Verbal Herb. If you go to Verbal Herb right now, those shirts are not in my warehouse. I don't have one. I don't even know where. When you buy a shirt from me, I couldn't even tell you where it came from. But I know it'll be at your house in 7 days, and they'll keep 12 and I'll keep 17. And at 1,000 shirts a month, that's $17,000 a month in my pocket. That's $200,000 for selling 250 shirts a week. 200 grand. Right? Listen, you guys. And listen, and you guys, by the way, in case you forgot, Jeff Bezos is half Africana. You understand that Cubans are from African descent. Jeff Bezos earned his money. He owes us nothing but a service. Period. I know how we feel about Amazon. Actually, how some of you guys feel. You know, I like consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go to Amazon and I order something, it's gonna be here 99.9% of the time. All Jeff Bezos owes me is a product. And here's the other thing. You know why I like Amazon? Because it was because of them that I was able to see Hebrews to Negroes. I bought the movie. It was $50. I don't understand that part. But Amazon's got the movie up. And instead of ripping Amazon apart, why don't we go rent the movie and I'll go watch it so we can see what the hell everyone's talking about. It's funny, people talking shit about Kyrie ain't even watched the damn movie yet. Yeah, there's some shit in it that didn't need to be there. Some of it was inappropriate, but since when is a documentary 100% correct?
Let me jump in here. So I'm seeing some people who are, saying, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm trying to put all the comments together, that resources are kind of lacking as far as having the money due to paying bills, and that kind of stuff. And trust me, I get it, that things, I've been in situations where money was tight and I didn't know what I was going to do. And so speaking of Amazon, I worked at Amazon for a month and a half. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. And I tell y'all this stuff. See, because I'm not one of those people that's going to lie to kick it to you, right? I'm not one of these people that's going to sit up here and say, oh, I got it all together. And because I'm still getting it together. So I just want to keep that 100 with y'all. I'm not sitting up here, and I'm not saying Wall Street, I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not sitting up here from a point of view of oh, yes, this is what you need to do because, I've been there. So back to my story about Amazon. I worked at Amazon, I think it was 2014, 2015. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that long ago. I had a master's degree, okay? I had a master's degree working at Amazon, okay? And it was at a time to where I could not seem to get a job or any of that. So I was like, okay, Amazon is hiring. Let me go. Let me tell you, it was some of the hardest work that I ever did. Not necessarily physically, but mentally, because I'm like, here I am, a grown woman with 2 degrees, mind you, and I'm being told what to do. Get this cart. And if you don't, keep up with your rate. Anybody that's worked at Amazon, you got a rate that you got to meet. If it's under 100%, more than I think 4 times, you got to have a conversation with your supervisor. You only see when you don't meet your rate. That's the only time they talk to you. Hey, Demetra, I'm just noticing that your rate dropped. We know what's going on. If you do it too many times, then we're going to have to terminate you type of thing, right? That's how it goes down at Amazon. And so, like I said, I was there a month and a half. Hated it. I hated it. I was making like $800 every 2 weeks. So clearly living in California, even in 2015, that wasn't a lot of money. And so one day, the last day I was there, I remember it was like right before first break, which is at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in my area and I'm like, what the freak are you doing here? And I was so miserable. And I said, you know what? I took my cart back before break came. I walked out, clocked out, walked out, and I never went back. I never went back. I didn't have another job or any of that stuff. But the point that I'm making to you is sometimes you don't have all the things that you need, but sometimes you got to do the things that you don't want to do. I don't want to be working at Amazon. I was like, I'm too fine for one thing to be working at Amazon. I'm joking, but I'm serious. But not only that, when I was there at Amazon, I wasn't just talking about working with people who were kids or people who didn't have degrees. There was business owners there. There were professors. There were people with all kind of degrees and just military, veteran, old, young, you name it. It was so many people from all walks of life there at Amazon, and they were there for many reasons. But for me, I was like, I gotta, pay my car note. I gotta pay my bills. I had a lot of stuff that I needed to do. And then and I'm speaking of myself, I'm not telling anybody else. Once I raised my belief system, then I got out of there. I was like, if I don't leave now, I'll be here a year and 2 years and 3 years. And people were saying, well, you can promote up. I was like, nah, I'm not. I don't want to have no comfort here at Amazon because this ain't where I'm supposed to be. So again, I'm saying sometimes you got to do things that ain't so sexy. Some things, I could have said, oh, I have 2 degrees. I will never. But then it's like, so am I going to put my pride? As my mama used to say, pride can't ride. I'm going to put my pride to the side, go work at Amazon and maybe a Taco Bell, McDonald's or whatever until I can get stuff together. So I'm saying, I know a lot of times we are in situations where we don't have the resources, but the only thing I could say honestly, and this is going to sound real cold, and I'm not speaking to you from a place of elitism, get the resources. Get the resources I don't want to say any means necessary because there's other ways to get the resources, but do your best to get the resources. Like Walter said, a lot of people go work a 9 to 5, still don't have any money. All right. After you clock out from that 9 to 5, you either sit down at your kitchen table and you work on a little side hustle that you got, whether it's making some plates or whatever it is you need to do, or you go clock in somewhere else for 4 to 5 hours because there's 24 hours in a day. So it's like, what do you need to do in order to not struggle? And again, I'm not coming to y'all from a plate of elitism and this is what you guys should do, because I've done it. I've been in situations in my life where I've worked 3 jobs. I've had 3 jobs twice in my life. 3 jobs, putting food on the table. Once when I got out of a relationship with my daughter's father, I worked at Woolworths. Y'all remember that? It ain't here no more. I worked at Frito-Lay.
Yep.
And I also worked at Walmart. 3 damn jobs until I got hired on full time at Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay is the longest job that I've had. I started working there. I was 22. I left there in my 30s because I got injured or hurt my hand. But I worked 3 jobs. Later on in life, when I had acquired 3 of my nieces and nephews, in addition to losing my job at Frito-Lay, in addition to raising my own daughter, I worked 3 jobs. One as a janitor at California Youth Authority. Do y'all know what the California Youth Authority is? It is a prison, a full-fledged prison for youth. I, as a woman, worked there from 10 o'clock at night to 4 o'clock in the morning, got my ass up, went to my one job, and then I went to another job. I didn't want to be doing those things, but I did what I had to do. So the point that I'm making is, and I saw somebody say, what comfort zone? That's the problem. A lot of us are in a comfort zone and we don't realize that we are in, shut up, Siri. We don't realize that we are in a comfort zone. The comfort zone is if you, and I'm not saying this about you, Frank, because you made the comment, but the comfort zone is if you are at home and you have enough downtime to say, wow, life really sucks. I don't have everything I need. I'm not going to be able to walk to that refrigerator and get what I want to eat. I don't have what I need. If you have the time to even think that, then you're in the comfort zone. Because if you're not in the comfort zone, you're at another gig doing whatever you need to do. Hell, I keep it real with you. See, not gonna lie to you. I drove Uber for a year. I hated it. My last day at Uber is when this woman came running to my car. She was being chased by her big old boyfriend, who was being held by all of his family members away from her. He was trying to kill this woman. She ran to the back of my car. She jumped in, and this fool got loose, and he's in the back of my car trying to beat her up. And I'm like, yo, get out my car, get out my car. They snatched him out of the car. I sped off and drove her to safety. And I said, you know what? This is my last day on the job. Because that man could have did something to the both of us. So the point that I'm making is, I've done a lot of stuff.
And I remember watching you do. I remember you doing all that shit. But here's the thing. And
let me finish.
Go ahead.
So I did a lot of things, even to scrubbing toilets with a master's degree, because I still didn't have enough money. Walter's friend, who he actually gave the idea to start the house cleaning service, she said, hey, I know you need some money. And by the way, she's Mexican, and I consider my homegirl. She says, you know what? I know you need money. Here, come work with me. And a lot of times she would give me all of the money. I'm telling you, I've done it all. So I'm telling y'all, sometimes it's not what we always want to do, but we got to do it until we can do better. That's it. The comfort zone exists for a lot of us. We just are in denial. We are. If you, and I'm not saying y'all, I'm just saying in general, if you have time to be on here talking about life is hard for me financially, well, you got too much time on your hands. Because if you got time to be on this thing called the internet, then you got time to go work somewhere else 2 and 3 or 4 hours. It's Christmas time now. Everybody's hiring. Everybody needs somebody. So I don't want to say that if there's an end all be all is easy to fix, but it gets easier when we decide that I'm sick and tired of having nothing. I'm sick and tired of living in lack. I am one of those people. Mm-hmm. I am very frugal. I'm very frugal. But one thing I vowed to my child and my nieces and nephews is when we walk our asses into this grocery store, we're going to get what we want. Because there was times like my oldest nephew, I was raising him, and I made something he didn't like. He says, I don't like this. I said, honey, we ain't eating for quality right now. We eating for quantity, So I said to my daughter, I said, we're never going to walk into a grocery store and say, we want that, but we can't afford it. We're going to go get what we want to eat. And so with that, I work hard. This ain't the only thing I do. Y'all think YouTube pay my bills? YouTube don't pay my bills. I do. A couple of days ago, I was at Walter's investment property, scrubbing not 1 but 2 toilets for extra money. So I'm just putting it out there. I get it.
Yeah, no, and I watched you come in. I watched my sister do all that stuff. Matter of fact, some of that time when she was doing that shit, I was sleeping on her couch when I lost my business. And I tell you, I have no problem. I even to this day, I have an account. I haven't done it yet. I signed up for Uber Black. I signed up for Uber to drive at night. I haven't done it yet. But like, if I was sitting up here and I needed money, I needed $300-400. I promise you, I'll hop my black ass in my truck, and I'd be, how you doing? Where we going? You know what I'm saying? And but here's the thing, my sister, I know she didn't forget to mention, but sometimes she be on this humble thing. My sister, when she worked at Amazon, Walmart, Frito-Lay, what did you leave with? And this is what sometimes people overlook. When you left Frito-Lay, what did you have? You had stocks, right? 401k. I know for a fact, I had clients when I was financial services who worked at Walmart 20, 30 years and left there with more stock. Some of them didn't even realize they had all this stock. I told one of my clients, man, you got $100,000 in your 401k at Walmart. He's like, huh? I said, you don't even know? So like Amazon, if you work in Amazon 20 years, I don't care how shitty it is. And by the way, if you live in Texas, they're paying you $15 an hour. Don't tell me you can't live in Texas on $15 because you could do it. But those people working at Amazon, are they getting stock unless they stopped it? Stock, 401k. So even if you're making a shitty wage, but if you stay there 15, 20 years and you take Amazon stock every 2 weeks when you get paid, when you leave there, you're going to walk away with hundreds of thousands of dollars, which will pay cash for your home in Texas, Ohio, Detroit, Florida, wherever. So that's the point we need to make. Sometimes you got to do what you got. I swear to God, right now, if I had to hop my ass in my truck and go Uber tonight, I would do it. If I needed $300, I'll do it. And thou may kiss my ass. I don't care what you have to say. And that's what we need to get down and dirty. Indeed, she said it better than I ever could. There's no such thing as no resources. That is a lie. Because you could go, I tell you what, all of us take all our money away. We butt naked financially, right? We got a shirt and some jeans on. That's all we got left. You could walk to your neighbor's door and say, hey, you know what? Trying to make some money. I noticed you have a broom and a mop. Can I come clean your house tonight? Give me $50. I'll do it all. I don't care how long it takes. Give me $50. Do you know another neighbor? I'll do their house. Now you knock on my door. You clean my house for $50. I'm letting you in, even if it don't need to be cleaned for $50. Come on, but that's a resource, right? So, and people, we have to. Sometimes we gotta get down and dirty. Like I have a Mexican lady. She's my house. She don't speak in no English. She don't speak in no English. She bought a BMW for her daughter from me, cash, a convertible black BMW, cash from me, no haggle. Here, dug in her pocket, handing me $7,000. My housekeeper spends 8 hours cleaning my house for $200 once a month, and is looking at buying another BMW from me. She scrubs toilets for a living, but pays cash for her. Each one of her kids has a BMW. So she don't have no resources. She don't even speak English. She come in here, watch her, she smile, yes, see, no, whatever. I have my assistant translate. Hey, can you ask her what does she want from me? She translate. Oh, she wants to buy a car from you. She don't have no resources. She don't even speak English. But yet, her and her family live in a nice house, and all of her kids have decent cars, and she has money saved. And I guarantee you she hasn't been in this country 5 years. What's her resource versus yours? And you speak the language in the country you live in. There's no such thing as no resources. That is a lie. And when you stop telling yourself that, you do better. There's no such thing as you don't have enough money. That's a lie, because money is everywhere. You could go mop your neighbor's floor right now for $10. So don't tell me money. Kill that. Don't ever say that to yourself again. Thou that gives a shirt off his back shall be naked.
And I'll give y'all another story, and I know we're about to get out of here. Years ago, I was dating this guy, and he met my father for the first time. My father was fixing on my car. He's fixing my car. My dad is a mechanic. So he met him for the first time, and my dad asked him, he says, what do you do? You know, because your daddy gonna ask him, your boyfriend, what is it that you do? He says, oh, right now I'm unemployed. He said, you what? You unemployed? He said, how you dating my daughter and you unemployed? He said, ain't no romance without the finance. But most importantly, you can't even walk amongst men talking about you unemployed. He said, get yourself a lawnmower and go knock on some of these doors and ask them if they need their lawns mowed. But you can't date my daughter talking about you ain't got no money. He said, that's not what men do. You figure it out. And the guy was so shocked. But my dad, spoke a word into him. But more importantly, he was like, nah, you ain't gonna date my daughter talking about you unemployed, because then what he hear is, oh, damn, well, my daughter could potentially be taking care of you. I don't want my daughter taking care of a man that's able-bodied and it should be taking care of her. So, I'm just putting it out there. Where there is a will, there's a way. Y'all know, after the Great Depression and during the Great Depression, the most millionaires were created. During the Great Depression, this is before social programs and all that other stuff. Black people, we didn't get the social programs till FDR came with the New Deal, and his wife forced him to include us in what they call, social programs back then, but like welfare, right? So we have to figure it out. Of course, we know that's when Black Wall Street was created. And listen, I'm not saying all that to say that we don't deserve reparations. That's a whole other conversation. Yeah, we deserve reparations. But in the meantime, There's been so many people. Within the last 100 years, just alone, Marcus Garvey on to Dr. Claude Anderson that has said, "Up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will." The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said, "Do for self." That's the key. Everybody do for self. Everybody and everything, living thing that walks upon this earth does for self. Black people, we used to do for self. And I'm not saying we don't sometimes, but as a community, we used to do for self because we didn't have nobody else to do it for us. Right now, I know, of course, what happened with Black Wall Street and all the other Black communities. We know that. But I'm saying the fact that they did it under some of the most harshest circumstances ever known to man, they were able to build because they had a sense of community. So I get it. Times are hard. I'm not ever going to tell y'all I don't know what hard times are. I know what hard times are.
This is the best time to build wealth, you guys. I promise you. The recession is the best time. Do you realize there's so many companies that during recessions is when they thrive? Do you realize Amazon was started public in 1997? They went 1999 and then 2000, 2001, 2002. It was crap for Amazon. They built Amazon during a recession. And so many companies are created during a recession. And you guys, and here's the other thing too. A recession just means that maybe 5 to 10% of the people can't find a job. Recession is not 30% unemployment, it's 10. It's 12. That means 85%, 90% of the people still making money. You can still sell to them. They still need an Uber. They still need a Lyft. They still need their house clean. You know what I'm saying? So don't get stuck by, oh, we're in a recession. And if you're blue collar, there's no recession for you, because no matter what happens to this economy, people are going to eat out. They're going to go to grocery stores. They're going to use their EBT cards. If all of us are getting EBT, they're going to take their black ass up into McDonald's, into the liquor store, and buy food and whatever. And if you're working at that store, you always going to have a job. So there's really not a recession for blue collar people. Right now, if you listen to Jerome Powell speak or go watch his notes, he says the blue collar man is safe. Matter of fact, there's not enough blue collar workers. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you got blue collar skills, and we all do, they're talking about you. And so you make 15 bucks an hour doing one job. It's only 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? You give another job 8 hours, that's 16 hours times 15 bucks. Like, what is that? 240? I don't know. What's the math on that, dude? Was that 240 bucks? 240 times 5 is what? You see where I'm going with this? What is that? Is that 1,200 bucks? 1,200 bucks a week? That's 60,000 a year. You and your wife spend 1 year working 2 jobs. You each make 60. That's 120. Don't tell me you can't live on 122 people. And you got 8 hours to sleep, have dinner with your kids, and da-da-da-da-da. And the weekends you get all to yourself. Don't tell me you can't live on 122. You working 2 jobs at minimum wage. That's it. But the problem is we don't get to that. Get to work, get a hustle. I swear to God, I will sweep this floor of my neighbor. I don't care. Before I look in my fridge and ain't nothing up in there. And believe me, I slept on my sister's couch. She'll tell you. Me and my 3 kids, her daughter, the dude she talking about, I'll leave nameless. Right? I know what she talking about. Woo! Matter of fact, it wasn't just us. We had, who was that was staying? Somebody else's kids was up in there too.
It was 2 of your friends.
No, I'm not talking about that night. I'm talking about the people that were staying there permanently for a while. Or they were always there. Jay's kids. That's what I'm talking about. The what's his name? Big B. And I can't remember his son's name. Andrew, I think. Anyway,
yeah.
It seemed like there was like 10 of us in that house. But I don't remember us fighting. We got to some arguments because my sister, her temper used to be off the hook. But we got along, right? But we were forced to get out of the house and work. My sister would see me in the morning. I get suited, and I'd be out selling insurance till midnight. And I remember doing that for a long time. Herbalife, remember we sold Herbalife? Shit, we did Amway Herbalife. My God, I was did the reminder program. Shit. I love those experiences. I would not take those back. I tell you, man, when my financial planning clients saw me selling Herbalife, they were so sad for me. But man, I was like, you know what? I'm selling vitamins, but I'm taking care of my family. I don't. You sad because I'm selling Herbalife? Be sad if I wasn't doing nothing, right? We gotta put our pride aside. Period. That's
Absolutely. So we are at the 2 hour mark. We love and appreciate y'all. Always on the Demetra K show, especially when we are live, we will always have a conversation with, as I call you all, the third co-host, because you all deserve to be heard as well. So it is always a pleasure, Walter. Thank you so much for once again being here with us on Wealth Wednesdays. And again, I'd like to say a big giant RIP to that of Twitch, and condolences to his family and all of that, as a major loss anytime somebody decides to commit the final act. And so again, thank you, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. And we will be back here live with Donovan on Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time as well. I don't know what we'll talk about, but I'm sure it will be just as interesting. And one thing I like to leave off saying is, I know we don't always agree on everything, but that's good, because that's where the learning process takes place. Is when we don't agree, we learn different points of views. And so that is okay. We will see y'all later. Perspective Gaming, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, thank you for being here. We will see y'all on Sunday live. Peace.